Hello and welcome to this session, and in this session we shall understand as to how to approach this important HR interview question. How do you handle feedback and criticism? Well, at a workplace, feedback and positive criticism happen to be common aspects, and through this question the interviewer is trying to assess as to how you actually handle feedback and positive criticism. Well, that way the same question may also be asked like this: what is your approach to receiving feedback from colleagues or superiors? Well, the same question may also be asked like this as to how do you deal with negative feedback or criticism in the workplace? That way, the same question may also be posed in this manner as to how do you handle feedback that challenges your ideas or decisions? Well, that way, the question may be asked in any of these ways, but then through this question, the interviewer is basically trying to ascertain your ability to handle feedback and criticism effectively. So, how really to answer this question in your HR interview? Let me tell you. Even before I tell you as to how you need to answer this question in your HR interview, what is more important for you to understand is why is this question being posed to you? Well, through this inquiry, the interviewer aims to ascertain whether you possess a positive growth-oriented mindset and whether you actively pursue avenues for your professional growth and development in the company. This inquiry allows the interviewer to assess your comprehension of your own abilities and identify such areas where you need development, as well as your willingness to accept critical feedback. Sometimes coping with feedback and negative criticism can prove to be extremely demanding. Through this inquiry, the interviewer shall be evaluating your resilience, shall be evaluating your emotional intelligence, and also shall be evaluating your ability to maintain composure when confronted with challenging feedback. In fact, managing feedback and criticism frequently requires collaborating with the other team members and nurturing positive relationships in the team. The interviewer, through this question, seeks to assess your proficiency and professionalism in constructive conflict resolution. Well, that way, constructive feedback often sheds light on areas that require improvement. The interviewer, through this question, seeks to gain insight into your problem-solving skills and how you approach resolving the issues that are being raised. Through this question about feedback and criticism, the interviewer strives to evaluate whether you proactively seek feedback, value the feedback, and then utilize it to consistently enhance yourself and your professional endeavors. Well, feedback and criticism commonly shall originate from supervisors or your superiors. The interviewer, through this question, aims to evaluate your approach to receiving feedback from authority figures and determine whether you respond to them with a positive and an open mindset, or if you will respond to them with a defensive approach. This question shall enable the interviewer to ascertain your adaptability and willingness to embrace change. All said and done, through this question, the interviewer may not only be trying to assess your ability to receive feedback, maybe the interviewer is also trying to assess whether you can be providing constructive and helpful feedbacks to the other members of your team. Basically, through this question, the interviewer aims to assess whether your approach to feedback aligns with the values, culture, and the expectations of the company. Well, any of these could be the reasons as to why the interviewer is posing this question to you in the interview, but then how really should you answer this question? Let me tell you. I shall indeed tell you as to how you need to answer this important HR interview question, but then even before that, what is more important for you to understand is what really are the common mistakes that are committed normally by the freshers while answering this important HR interview question. Well, one of the common mistakes committed by the freshers is to be defensive about the feedback that is being provided or dismiss the feedback itself completely. Well, one thing that you need to remember is that in a professional setup, maintaining a positive and an open-minded attitude is essential, even in such situations where the feedback may be challenging to accept. Never should you be downplaying the significance of the feedback that is being provided to you. Acknowledging the value of the feedback and expressing a genuine willingness to consider it seriously showcases your understanding of its importance and your commitment to continuous professional improvement. One thing that you have to bear in mind is that active listening is an important quality if you really have to understand the feedback that is being provided by others. Never neglect to mention the importance of active listening when it comes to effective handling of feedback and criticism. It is essential to acknowledge and understand the perspective of other team members as well. After all, you are working in a team on a certain project. Never forget to emphasize the significance of active listening to feedback from others, and through this, demonstrate your willingness to consider different viewpoints. An important aspect associated with feedback and criticism is that it actually provides you an opportunity to learn. So, it is crucial for you to highlight your willingness to learn and grow from the input that you have received from your teammates or from your superiors. Showcasing a proactive and a positive attitude towards personal and professional development is, after all, the key to success. So, you must always emphasize your eagerness to embrace feedback as a chance to improve and demonstrate your commitment towards continuous learning in a professional setup. I do understand that it is pretty challenging to accept negative feedback. After all, it is pretty natural to inherently experience emotional reactions when somebody is negatively criticizing you in a workplace, but then placing too much of emphasis only on your personal feelings, or being excessively sensitive to the feedback that is being provided by your colleagues or by your superiors can actually create a perception that you struggle with effectively handling criticism. It is extremely important for you to strike a balance by acknowledging and managing your emotions while at the same time maintaining a professional and a constructive approach to receiving and addressing feedback. All said and done, in a professional setup, it is not only important for you to receive feedback with a positive mindset, it is more important for you to seek for feedback from others so that you can enhance your performance. So, in the interview, always emphasize your willingness to actively seek feedback from others, which demonstrates your commitment to continuous improvement, and also it demonstrates a proactive attitude towards your personal and professional growth. Well, it is always recommended for you to demonstrate self-awareness and reflect on how you have sought feedback and responded to feedback in the past, so that the interviewers can be convinced about your ability to handle feedback and criticism. So, any of these could be the common mistakes that are normally committed during the HR interview, but now that you have understood as to these happen to be the common mistakes, that I am sure you would not be committing them in your HR interview. So, my 5 tips for you to answer this important HR interview question are these. So, I'm sure that in this session, you have indeed been able to understand as to how you should approach and answer this important HR interview question. Well, success in your HR interview predominantly depends upon your preparedness, and I'm sure that this video series is enabling you to be well prepared for your HR interview. If you really need answers to more such important HR interview questions so that you can enhance your preparedness levels, all that you have to do is to continue watching this video series. Thanks for watching. Let's meet again in my next session.